Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to try to make a weekly video, maybe a daily video. We'll see how much time we have lately. But what this is I want to do the top plays and some other plays for the NBA. And tonight is a 5-game slate. So we're going to be we've been a little spoiled the last couple of days because they have been some pretty big slates. And this is probably one of the luckiest NBA weeks that we've had. We're not stuck with a 2 or 3 game slate, but today we actually do have 5 games. So what we do here at dailyrotohelp.com and fantasysportsadvice.sportsalogic.com, we help build your lineups. We give you top plays, we give you other plays. Then if you want to go check out dailyrotohelp.com, we give you full lineups, analysis, and all of that. This analysis is actually going to be what's on dailyrotohelp.com, but not full lineups. If you want to check that out, head on over to dailyrotohelp.com. Start your winning ways today. So, if you're not aware, please like us on Facebook, facebook.com/fantasysportsguru22. Follow us on Twitter at fantasyadvice22. Our blog, like I said, fantasysportsadvice.sportsblog.com. Our site that we have full analysis, in-depth articles, and our lineups, dailyrotohelp.com. And then if you want to check those Fanduel referral links, DraftKings referral links, and Victiv referral links, that would be awesome. Also, what we have new, which is coming up, it's going to help with your MLB draft, is we have an MLB simulator. So if you head over to dailyrotohelp.com, you click on the simulator, it'll stick you right into the actual website, and you can just do your mock drafts. You can choose your preferences, how many teams you have, what rules you want to have, stuff like that. So please check that out. That if you haven't drafted yet for MLB, that would be great. So I'm just going to break down the games a little bit. The over-unders are out, but the favorites are only on 2 games. So tonight we have 5 games, like I said. Bucks at Pacers. Indiana's a 7.5 point favorite. The over-under is only 185.5. Grizzlies are at Wizards. Over-under 185. There's not a whole lot of over-under. Rockets at Jazz. Over-under 187.5. Cavs at Spurs, over-under 207.5 with the highest over-under of the night, so you might want to target that. And Knicks at Lakers, with Lakers as a 7.5 point favorite with an over-under of 191.5. That just sounds like an awful game. Sounds like an awful game. I think Jeremy Lin's going to bust out. I'm just saying. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to break down each position, the top 2 plays and then the other plays. So tonight, starting at point guard, I'm really focusing on Kyrie Irving and George Hill. And the reason for that is obviously it's a 5-game slate. There's not a ton of options to look for. Irving, he gets a juicy matchup against San Antonio. He is averaging 36.5 minutes per game and 34.2 minutes per game, fantasy points per game. While the Spurs, now we don't know who the Spurs are going to play, who's going to get popped, who's not. The Spurs are actually giving up 45.9 fantasy point average to point guards. So I think Irving's a safe bet. The Cavs are clicking on all cylinders. The big 3, Love, LeBron, and Irving. So, I think you can throw out Irving tonight in a game that has the highest over-under. I was going to go with Mike Conley next, but he hurt his ankle last night and he was seen limping. So he has a favorable matchup against the Wizards. I don't know what his status is going to be, so I don't really want to put that out there right now since it's so early in the day. So next up, I want to go with George Hill. He's averaging 25.1 minutes per game to go along with 26.1 fantasy points per game. And the Milwaukee Bucks are giving up 42 fantasy points average to point guards. He's been on fire since he came back. His price has risen a little bit. I know it's $6,200 on Fanduel. I'm not sure what it is on DraftKings or Victiv, but he will, on a short slate like this, you could put Irving with him and call it a day. But some other plays at the position. John Wall, he's at home. He's not been as dominant as he was at the beginning of the season, but he does play better at home for some reason. And if he's a good to go, I do like Michael Carter-Williams to go against Indiana. But Indiana's a 7.5 point favorite, so I feel he would make a good play because they'll be playing from behind. But anytime Indiana is a favorite, something's going on. That's really all I can tell you. So let's just jump down to shooting guards. I like Wayne Ellington. I mean, this is the game. This is the Lakers, the lowly Lakers versus the lowly Knicks. Wayne Ellington, he's averaging 24.7 minutes per game, but only 16.5 points per game. But on the flip side of that, the Knicks are giving up 38.4 fantasy point game average to shooting guards. I do think he can bust out. Honestly, the Lakers don't have really anyone, so they're throwing out people that people haven't heard of maybe 3 years ago. But that's good. Somehow they are a favorite, and anytime the Lakers are a favorite this year, you might as well try to get a couple of them, especially on a short game slate. If this was a full game slate or even like an 8-game, 10-game slate, I would absolutely avoid this game. So other plays at shooting, well, I like Brad Beal as well. He's back. He's been playing pretty good. He's still not priced where he should be. As of now, he's averaging 32.8 minutes per game and 25.1 fantasy points per game. On the flip side of that, Memphis giving up 37.2 fantasy point average to shooting guards. So Beal would be a salary relief if you want to go with Irving, if you want to go with LeBron, if you want to go with some bigger names tonight. And then, of course, some other plays at that position. Chris Middleton. Courtney Lee has been playing out of this world off the bench when he starts and then off the bench when he's on the bench. And I think we'll have to see since it is so early. I'm not sure if he'll be in the starting lineup or what's up with that. But look out for that. And Joe Ingles, he's going to be – I would use him specifically in a GPP tonight. So small forwards that I like, Gordon Hayward, Solomon Hill. And pretty much with Hayward, he gets my top nod for small forwards if you don't want to pay up for LeBron. If you do want to pay up for LeBron, we're going to have to go with some value plays other places. But Hayward's averaging 34.5 minutes a game, 32.5 minutes a game, fantasy points per game. And the Houston Rockets, still without Dwight Howard, who have not been the same. They were getting blown out last night, but then they started to stage a comeback, but it fell a little short. So they might be tired as well. We know Harden doesn't like to play a lot of defense, and especially on back-to-backs. But they are giving up 41.3 fantasy point average to small forwards this season. So I think that makes Hayward a great play tonight. And then if you want to go a little down, and by down I mean a 3.8K drop in salary on Fanduel. I'm not sure about the other sites. Solomon Hill against Milwaukee. He is on the Pacers, and they apparently are favorites to win a game tonight, so you have to take advantage of that according to Vegas. So he's averaging 29.5 minutes per game, but only 18.5 fantasy points per game. So this also probably would be a GPP-only play, but you could throw him in some cash games if you guys are making multiple lineups. If you're only making like one or two lineups, I would kind of shy away from these dart throws that are trying to win you GPPs. On that side, Milwaukee's given up 38 fantasy point average to the small forward position. So just be aware that Solomon Hill, I want to say he's a GPP-only option tonight. Other ones, Shved, Kawhi Leonard, I don't know if he's going to be in the game. I don't know who's going to get popped. I don't know how many minutes he's going to get. But on a short slate with the Spurs, you kind of just, you got to hope and pray and just watch up until tip-off. And then the Greek freak, Antetokounmpo, I messed that name up. He's not played exactly like he should. He's priced mid to upper, 7,000 on FanDuel. He's going to be playing against Indiana, who do give up a lot of points. But Indiana is the favorite, so I think Indiana will be up. Also, that means he might be playing from behind. And there's not a lot of shooting options on the Bucks, so I think Giannis makes a good play tonight. Indiana is giving up 35.4 fantasy points to the small forward position. So kind of look at that. On a short game slate, like I said, there's not a ton of options that you can choose from. And I think he's a great option tonight if you don't want to pay up for LeBron James. But if you are going to pay up for LeBron James, let's say you pay up for James and Harden, we can find some value plays, especially with short game slate. Just be aware that James is 10,800 on Fanduel. He is not the Russell Westbrook. What was he? 13.8K last night on some of the sites, which is ridiculous. I've never seen that high. He did commit 10 turnovers, so that was a career high, and he really screwed up a lot of lineups because he was so much. He was about 20% of everyone's salary. And then he didn't have he had a great game if he was, 7K or 8K, but at 13K, you have to hit astronomical numbers to hit value, and he just didn't do it last night. So let's move on to the power forward position. Depending on what site you play, Bargnani for the Knicks, he's either a power forward or he is a center. It just depends on the site that you're on. So I really do like him. He usually plays the center position, but he is power forward on some sites. I love his matchup tonight against the Lakers, regardless of where he plays on the court, on which site. The Lakers are giving up 50.5 points to centers. So if he's on a site like Victiv, he'll be the center position. He is averaging 24 minutes per game and 21.5 points per game, but on FanDuel he's 5.5K. On Victiv, I think he's about 5K. Unless he's gone up, he should be right around there. And 50 points, he could go for 8 times his salary tonight. And I think he's going to be a popular play. So if you're playing head-to-head, I think you have to have him in there, or you're going to be already playing from behind. So if we kind of already know what's almost a guaranteed play, over 50-60%, you might as well get him in there so you're not chasing those points that you could have had automatically when you started. To go with that, I really like David West tonight. He's come back. He's playing his soul out. He's got 28.7 minutes per game. Now, that's skewed because he hasn't played all season. He's got 27.2 average fantasy points per game. The Bucks, like I said, who are underdogs tonight, I've given up 49.9 fantasy point average to power forwards. So on that sense, you could look around, you could see, but I honestly like David West tonight. And then just some other power forward plays that I like tonight. Derek Favors, like I said, Kevin Love, Zach Randolph, and Carlos Boozer. He was subjected to the bench, but then he came off, and I think he got like 28 fantasy points either a game or 2 games ago just off the bench. So regardless where they put Boozer, he's still getting some points. And like I said, he's going up against the Knicks, so he could make a great play. Even if he doesn't start, he could make a great play off the bench. So just be aware of that. And then when I look at the center options tonight, there's not a ton. Obviously, you start off with Rudy Gobert, Zaza. You got Roy Hibbert. If he's hurt, I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know if he's healthy. Mahinmi, if he's in, we don't know yet. That's the only problem with making this so early in the day. You've got to just keep checking till tip-off. Then we got Gortat or Splitter. So let's kind of just break down Rudy Gobert. So if you look at what he's been doing, he hit a hot streak. Then they traded Canner. Now it's his team. He's going up against Houston, and Houston without Dwight Howard really, really, really struggles against the center position. On the season, Houston has given up 51.6 fantasy point average to the centers. Now that is with Dwight, and that's mostly without Dwight. And Gobert's, he's averaging 23.3 minutes per game and 23.8 fantasy points per game. But these numbers are skewed because he wasn't always starting. He wasn't always even playing the game. So since he took over, he's been pretty much a hot streak. He's cooled off a little bit, but I think tonight he bounces back against Houston. He is my top play at center, unless you're going Bargnani because he is a center on Victiv. I'm not sure about DraftKings. Tiago Splitter against Cleveland. They're giving up 49.1 fantasy points per game to centers. I don't know if he's going to be playing, if he's going to be splitting time, if he's going to be starting. He is only averaging 18.7 minutes per game, but we really have to look at what he does offensively. And he moves the ball up and down, but that's when he gets time. When they don't give him time, when you get popped, I don't understand how people play for the Spurs when their coach doesn't even understand the game, really. He either plays his stars one night and then sets them, or he plays them for 4 nights, they get hurt, they get tired, then they sit for a couple of games. I realize this is probably the last stretch the Spurs are going to have because they are so old. They're trying for a playoff spot. So I don't know. At this point in time, you can't be resting your superstars if you're scratching for that playoff spot. So whatever. It's up to you, Pop. Let's not get Pop tonight. So I do like Gobert as my top play and then Bargnani on most sites. So like I said, these are just our plays by position. And the breakdown that I did, if you'd like to see it on paper, will be out on dailyrotohelp.com before noon today. I just wanted to get this video out. Our blog, please check out our blog, fantasysportsadvice.sportsblog.com. If you're not aware of what we do at dailyrotohelp.com, like I said at the beginning, we give analysis, we give in-depth articles, we give actual lineups for you to either use or help build your own team. Now what I want to do is, it is a subscription service, but what I'm really wanting to do is get this free blog out to the public as much as possible. So at sportsblog.com, there are leaderboards. You climb to the top. At the top 5, the top 10, and the top 20 all get paid different amounts of money for the leaderboard. What I want you guys to do is go check that out, go tweet that, go Facebook, go tell your mom, go tell your grandma, go tell everyone. Send it out. Let people come to it. The more I get, the more I want to help you guys. So if I do get the top spot, which is number 1, which is going to be a climb, we do have a little over half a month left. It's going to be a climb because the top spots, I don't know what they do, but they spread it and they get 60, 70, 100,000 views, where we top out at about 20,000 views. What I want to do is if I get the top spot, I will select 20 lucky people to get our subscription service for life. And that'll be randomly picked. Thank you. Top 5, I'll pick 10 people and they'll get 6 months free of our service. It's $20 a month, which has been huge success. So thank you for everyone who does follow, who subscribes, who likes, who checks it out, tells everyone about it. Thank you very much. So what I'm hoping for you guys to do is get this blog out there so I can help you. So good luck tonight for the NBA. This is March 12th, 2015. And make sure to check out our lineups. Make sure to check out our articles. Definitely make sure to check out the starting lineups about 5 to 10 minutes prior to tip-off for any late breaking news. Thank you, good night, and have a good NBA season.